Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all
Artlist.io.
wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocketeer and stopping here.
Music licensing reimagined.
We gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. We already know that we the coldest. Watch me heat it up, let me focus. I'm going toe to toe with foes. I know they notice. I kick in doors, they only hope for closing. Why? Cause they know I go again and go again. And when they get it dry, I'm the one that can make it flow again. Talk to me nice, my team they ready to go again.
Music licensing reimagined.
We don't talk, better know the grind, gon' match my walk. I'm a cheat code, I don't take no loss. Making no sense, run up the scope, cause all I do is win. And I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look,
Artlist.io.
win. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. I'm winning again and again and again, and it's all on repeat. I'ma just sit at the top as I'm running it, dog. Homie, I don't know defeat. Had to get back on the phone. I told them don't play with my name, cause I know that it rings. They want my spot at the top with the crown.
Music licensing reimagined.
I'ma always win.
Good evening. Welcome in from the Channel 9 studio. This is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am he, Mr. 33. And what a eventful day in football. What an eventful weekend in total, right? But we're going to start right here with the game that just ended in Maryland, with the Seattle Seahawks visiting the Commanders. And that final score was 38 to 14. Sam Darnold had a superb game. He came out firing, completing his first 17 passes of the game, and finishing the game with 21 of 24 for 330 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Not much from the running game. They didn't need it tonight because it was all about the passing. Jackson Smith and Jigma led the team in receiving with 8 receptions with 129 yards. That led both teams in totality. And for the Commanders, Jaden Daniels was only 16 of 22, 153 yards, but a gruesome injury did occur to him as they was driving down towards the end zone. It was an arm injury. I'm projecting. I don't want to be correct, but that the way that arm came down, like the bone came out of his arm. The elbow looked dislocated, but it's a arm injury. I don't know how long it's going to take him to recover, but we wish him a speedy recovery. But it was a very horrible thing to watch But it was like I said, it was just horrible for them to watch. Well, horrible to watch in totality. Zach Ertz, excuse me, Debo Samuel led the team with receptions with 5. Uh, and Zach Ertz had the most receiving yards. But with this victory, the Seahawks remain 6-2, who was right behind. Well, they're right behind the Rams, who we'll talk about in a few minutes. And the Commanders go to 3-6. Seattle next opponent will be the Arizona Cardinals next Sunday, and for the Commanders, they will face the Detroit Lions next Sunday in Detroit. But good win for the. It was a start to finish win for the Seahawks. They scored first and had a 31-7 lead at halftime, and they never looked back. Big win for them going forward. So, but we'll take this next game from. We'll start in Indianapolis. No, excuse me, in Pittsburgh, as the AFC's number 1 seed, the Indianapolis Colts rolled in with their 7-1 record to face the Green Bay Packers, and they scored early. The Colts, they had a 7-0 lead, but it outscored 17-0 in the second quarter, and they did not look. The Steelers did not look back as they defeat the Indianapolis Colts 27-20. We'll go look at the stats for the Steelers, who did come out victorious. Aaron Rodgers was 25 of 35, 203 yards. 1 touchdown with a 95 QBR rating. Jalen Warren led the team in rushing with 31 yards. They didn't have much of a rushing attack today. Calvin Austin had 5 receptions for 56 yards to lead the team. They had no. Oh my God, what is his name? The lead receiver was out. When I get his name, it'll come back to me. But give me DK Metcalf. That's his name. No DK Metcalf for the Steelers, but it was enough as they defeated the Colts, who was led by Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones threw the ball 50 times. Let's just say Daniel Jones looked like the Daniel Jones of the Giants, as he was 31 of 50. He did throw for 342 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, couple of strip sacks. Jonathan Taylor only had 45 yards rushing. Michael Pittman led the team with 9 receptions and was tied with 115 yards with Alec Pierce. So with this loss, the Colts have become vulnerable. They are now 7-2, and with their win, the Steelers go to, what are they, 6-3 now? Yeah, they're 5-3, 5-3, 6-3. But the Colts, with a surprising loss to me, I didn't see that coming. But Pittsburgh rolled in, not beating no highly winning teams. But they did what they needed to do today, so they did gain the victory. And that's something that I did not see coming. In the AFC West, we had a slow game down in Houston as the Denver Broncos faced the Houston Texans, and for the first 3 quarters, it was all Texans, even with the fact that CJ Stroud was knocked out of the game. They said the play wasn't dirty. He was sliding and he got concussed on a hit, but the penalty was picked up. But it was pretty. But it was like I said, for the first 3 quarters, it was all Texans all the time. Uh, they was up 16-7 heading into the fourth, but the Broncos doing what they have been doing lately came back and scored 11 points in the fourth quarter, blanking the Texans and gaining the victory. So the Broncos will go to 7-2. The Texans will go to 3-5. Bo Nix was 18 of 37, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. J.K. Dobbins led the team in rushing with 61 yards on 15 carries, and R.J. Harvey, led the team with 5 receptions, 51 yards, and a touchdown. So, with this win, the Broncos maintain the AFC West lead to 7-2. And the Texans, they fall to, what did they fall to? 3-5? 3-5, correct. In the AFC East, we see that the Atlanta Falcons headed to New England to play the Patriots. And in a close game, we see that the Patriots narrowly defeats the Falcons 24-23 in this game, with the Falcons trailing 24-17. Michael Penix led a drive to tie the game up with a touchdown, but they missed the extra point, and they couldn't get the ball back in the last 4 minutes, which is how they ended up losing the game. But it was like I said, Michael Penix had a decent game today. He had 22 of 37, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns. But the guy who had the game in this game was Drake London. He had 9 catches for 118 yards with 3 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson led the rushing attack, 12 rushes for 46 yards, but he also caught 8 passes for 50 yards. And for the Patriots, who Drake May was under attack all day, he kept his composure to an extent. He was sacked 6 times, but he was 19 of 29 for 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Trayvon Henderson led the team with 55 rushing yards on 14 carries. Demario Douglas led the team with 4 catches, or he's tied for the catches, but led the team with 100 yards and had a touchdown. Stephon Diggs also had a touchdown today. And with this win, we see that New England stays atop of the AFC East with a 7-2 record, winning their 6th game in a row, staying ahead of Buffalo, who coincidentally won their game today 28-21 over the Kansas City Chiefs, who's in Buffalo, who came to visit. Yeah, but we're gonna go now. We're gonna shoot down to we're gonna shoot to Green Bay. We're starting on the NFC side. We started with the NFC, but we're going to the NFC North, where in a shocker, the Carolina Panthers went up to Green Bay and stunned the division leading Packers 16-13. Very difficult game, very ugly game to watch, but I guess that's what the Panthers do. They make it ugly and make it relevant for them to keep themselves in the game. Bryce Young was only 11 of 20 in his first game back from his injury He did not play last week for 102 yards. He had an interception. Rico Dowdle led the team with 25 carries and 130 yards. He had 2 touchdowns on the day. And Tatoria McMillan led the receiving corps with 4 receptions for 46 yards. But for the Packers, it was different because Jordan Love was 26 of 37, 233 yards, 273 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Josh Jacob had 87 rushing yards on 17 carries and a touchdown. And Romeo Dobbs led the receiving corps, seven receptions, 91 yards. But it's odd to see when you have that much passing yards that you don't have a touchdown in that many attempts. But like I said, they only had 1 touchdown throughout the game, and it was a rushing touchdown. So give the Carolina Panthers some credit, who are now 5-4 with this win. Kind of an upset, even though, especially how they fell flat last week against the Bills, but turned around and made this game very competitive. And that makes the Packers 5-1, who are still ahead of their division, but their division is getting a little close. So as we go to the rest of the scores, right? That game's been over. I don't know why it's showing that. Those games been over all day. That means I had the screen open too long. Y'all bear with me. We spoke about the Bills. The Chicago Bears versus the Cincinnati Bengals was the game of the day. And this is relevant because the Chicago Bears was down 15 in the fourth quarter and somehow, way, shape, or form came back to score 16 points to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 47-42. And it was more about the lack of defense, but we're going to give Caleb Williams some credit today because he led the comeback in all that they did. He was 20 of 34, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did not throw an interception, right? Kyle Manange had a huge rushing day for them, 26 carries for 176 yards. He may not have scored a touchdown, but that ground game allowed Caleb Williams to do a lot of play action passing. And we see Colston Loveland, who had a huge touchdown in the last few minutes as they was only going to drive for a field goal after Cincinnati came back and took the lead in the final minute. He ended up with a 58-yard touchdown pass from Caleb Williams to give them the 47-42 victory. And Colston Loveland had 2 touchdowns with 6 receptions and 118 yards. DJ Moore had a good game, 44 receptions for 72 yards. But like I said, this is more about what they did on offense. We already knew going into the game that the Bengals had a very suspect defense. We've known that for a long period of time. We've seen the frustration coming out as the Bears took that lead at the end of the game. But as you look at Joe Flacco today, Joe Flacco was 31 of 47, 470 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, I don't know what else you can ask from him. He can't go out there and play no defense, but he did what he did, turn the ball over a couple of times. Chase Brown led the running backs with 11 carries for 37 yards. The 1-2 punch of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, was 13 receptions with 232 yards. T. Higgins had 2 touchdowns. He also led the team with receiving yards with 121, while Jamar Chase had 6 receptions for 111. T. Higgins had 7. But Chase Brown, coming out the backfield, had the most catches with 8. and 75 receiving yards. But with this loss, it pushes them back as the Packers, as the Steelers did win their game. Now they're behind 2 games, and the Bears are 5-3, who is now a half a game behind the Green Bay Packers with their win. And in Detroit, we saw that the Lions lost to the Vikings. What was that score? 27-17 or 27-20, which makes the Vikings 27-24, excuse me, which makes the Vikings 4-4 and pushes the Lions down to 5-3. So as you can see in the NFL standings that we'll see a little later, it's getting nipped up back. It's getting close up there again in the AFC. Other scores: the Jaguars 39, the Raiders. The Jaguars 30, and the Raiders 29 in overtime. In overtime, they win the overtime 23 apiece. Jacksonville scored their touchdown, kicks the extra point. Geno Smith did lead a drive, scored a touchdown. They decided to go for 2. They didn't complete it, and therefore they lost the game. Spoke about the Bears. We spoke about the Lions. In Tennessee, the Titans lose to the Chargers 27-20. In MetLife Stadium, it was 34-24. The 49ers defeat the Giants. Did I miss a game? I don't think I missed a game. We spoke about the Falcons. We spoke about all of these games so far, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at the scores. Make sure I didn't miss a game. Spoke about the Chiefs losing 28-21. Spoke about the Rams 34, the Saints 10, who remain 6-2. See the Colts lost. The Colts losing. The Panthers winning. The Vikings defeated the Lions. The shootout in Cincinnati as the Bears 47, the Bengals 42, which is crazy still, even as I say it. Yeah, so we got through all of this, which now means we can hit the standings. And let me make sure that the standings are pretty accurate. As you see, the Patriots have a 1-game lead over the Bills. The Steelers with a 2-game lead over Baltimore, who actually played Thursday night, and the 2.5 games over Cincinnati. Even with the Colts losing today and the Jacksonville Jaguars winning, they're 2.5 games behind in the AFC South. And we see the Broncos with a 7-2 lead record, a game up on Cincinnati, 2 games up on Kansas City. In the NFC, the Eagles had a bye, but nobody gained ground on them. Well, the Cowboys play tomorrow. The Packers, look at this NFC North, y'all. The Green Bay Packers 5-2-1. They still lead the division. Detroit is a half a game behind them. Chicago's a half game behind them as well. And the Minnesota Vikings is about 2.5 games back in the North. The Tampa Bay Bucks, they didn't play this week. And the Panthers is now a game and a half behind them with their victory over the Packers. Atlanta loss keeps them under 500, below 500, and the Saints, they coming along. They are lagging. In the NFC West, you got 6-2 leading the division with the Rams. The Seahawks, they haven't been updated on this thing yet, which is kind of odd. And the 49ers, with their win, they're only a half game out. So if we decide to pull up playoff positions, which I'm about to do right now. Playoff seedings, NFL. Let's see what it gives us. You're just going to go to NFL.com, see what they give us. Uh, I don't know what's going on with my playoff seedings. I thought I had it up there. Okay. Let's share this out. Now I'm straight. So as you can see, the two number one seeds in both conferences is the Colts and the Eagles. Beat it. We don't see that. Got the Patriots, the 2 seed. The Broncos leading the AFC West. The Steelers are the 4 seed leading the North. Buffalo 6-2 to 5, 6-3 Chargers, and the 5-3 Jaguars, which means Kansas City is on the bubble, as y'all can see going forward, right? So let's look at 1 through 7 in the NFC. We got the Bucks 2 seed, Seattle's the 3 seed with the win over the Rams, holding the division. The Packers are 5-2-1 with the 4 seed in the North. The Rams are 6-2, but like I said, tied. So they're the 5 seed. The 49ers will make it with the 6 seed. And the Detroit Lions would it be the 7 seed if it started today, as they own the division. I mean the tiebreaker over the Bears, which you can see the 8, 9s, and 10s. They're maybe half a game out. Well, the Bears and Lions are tied at 5-3. The Panthers are a half game out. The Vikings are 4-4, and this is what I'm saying to you. As you see how this thing goes down the list, it's going to be a very interesting next 8 weeks as we head into week 10. Even though we got the Cowboys, who's way down there with 3 wins, trying to catch up to the 7 seed Lions, and the Cardinals are, I think, 2-5. So they don't, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. But this is the playoff picture if we was to start today. Since we are breaking the halfway mark of the season, we might as well start doing this a little bit on the regular as well, just to show you who's doing what, when, where, and how. So you see the 7 seeds that would be in the playoffs as of today. They are in the position to make the playoffs, but we still got 8 weeks to go. So, good luck with that. Let's go ahead and check some NBA scores out in the NBA as we go through the association. We're gonna break this down. Let's go through the finished schedules or the finished games. The Philadelphia 76ers 129, the Brooklyn Nets 105 in Brooklyn. The Pelicans go down to the Thunder, who are undefeated still, 137-106. The Cavaliers 117. The Hawks 109. As Trae Young is out with an injury, he'll be out for about a month. The Grizzlies 117. The Raptors 117. The Grizzlies 104. Ja Morant was suspended 1 game for team uh, detrimental character to the team when he didn't want to get into the he didn't want to have the conversation in the press conference. He said, ask the coach. We'll have that conversation. I don't know what's going on with these guys these days, but a big loss for the Grizzlies. Uh, Charlotte 126, Utah Jazz 103, the Knicks 128, the Bulls 116, handing the Chicago Bulls their first loss of the season. Yes, I said that correctly. The first loss of the season for the Chicago Bulls. Hey, wait a minute. The Phoenix Sun 130, the Spurs 118, their first loss of the season. And as you see the game winding down, the Los Angeles Lakers 128 and the Miami Heat 116. This game is still going and it's about to end with 45 seconds left. So those are the records those are the games that happened today in the NBA. We can go ahead and talk about. Well, we can see the schedules, even though that one game is still going. Excuse me, not the schedule. I meant to say standings. I don't know why I picked the schedule. We was already at the schedule. If we want to do divisions, let's do the divisions. You see, Boston is 5-1. Excuse me, the Sixers is 5-1 in the Atlantic Division. Knicks, Celtics, and Raptors are trailing. Chicago is a half a game above the Milwaukee Bucks and the Detroit Pistons. In the Central, the Southeast Division, Miami's 3-2. The Hawks is a game behind, 2 games in the loss column. You start the Western Conference, the Northwest. The Thunder, who remains undefeated, is 7-0. Portland is 4-2. They just switched this division up horribly. I don't even know how that worked, but okay. The Lakers are 4-2, again half game above the Clippers, and half game above the Golden State Warriors. Suns and Kings are trailing in the Southwest Division. There's only 3 teams in the South. Now that's impossible. Y'all listen. Y'all see what I see. I think there's a team missing. I think the Thunder is in the Southwest, but I don't know. But the Rockets are 3-2. The Mavs are 2-4, and the Pelicans have not won a game yet. So, which is odd because everybody else have the Pacers, the Wizards, but not the Pelicans. So Zion must not be doing something correctly. In the world of baseball, we're going to congratulate the Los Angeles Dodgers, who defended their championship with a 4-3 series win in Game 7, winning 5-4. And this is one of those games that I can literally say I stayed up the whole night to watch, and it was very eventful as the Dodgers, who was trailing 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth, got a home run from Rojas, the ninth place batter, to send the game in the extra innings. Now, with some controversy that I believe that some people may speak about, it was bases loaded. It was a ground ball with 1 out. It was a ground ball hit to Rojas at second base for the Dodgers. He threw the ball home. The runner was called out on the forced play. Some people might say that the catcher's foot was not on home plate, and he should have been safe, and the Dodgers should have lost because that would have been the game-ending run. But they kept playing, and in the 11th inning, Will Smith hit a home run, and then in the bottom of the 11th, the Blue Jays had runners at first and third, but a weak ground ball turned into a double play, which ended the game and allowed the Dodgers to be back-to-back champions, which hasn't happened in Major League Baseball in 25 years, as the Yankees did it 99 and 2000. So congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers, who defended, like I said, they defended their championship well, very well, well enough to say they are back-to-back champion. And they had a little road to go through because they didn't have the the first two seeds where they didn't have to play in the wild card series. They did. They had to overcome wild cards. They had to overcome the NLDS, the NLCS, and even a 7-game World Series to retain their crown as Major League Baseball World Series champions. So congratulations to them. Yamamoto had a humongous game, a humongous series. He was 3-0. He even came in Game 7, giving up no runs in 3 innings. Uh, he gets the win in Game 7, and they named him the World Series MVP. So congratulations to him and to the Dodgers once again. So that's really the gist of it. Now, I'm going to speak on Saturday night's main event because that happened last night as well. And I was going to wait, but there's no need to wait because at the end of the day, a lot of this is going to affect tomorrow's Monday Night Raw. So we saw in Saturday night's main event, there was a match for the World Championship between Jey Uso and CM Punk. And CM Punk did more than enough to gain the championship as he did. He did defeat Jey Uso with the go to sleep a couple of times to put Jey out. And he is now the World Heavyweight Champion, which he goes into tomorrow. Oh, yeah, tomorrow is Monday. He goes into Raw tomorrow as the World Champion. Congratulations to Dirty Dom Mysterio. He retained his belt in a triple threat match. No help. He didn't have no help from none of his guys. None of the Judgment Day came out. Nobody helped him. He took advantage of Penta hitting Rusev with the ring bell, the ring hammer, and he got the frog splash, got the pin, fair and square, because there's no disqualifications in a triple threat match. So he retains his belt. Cody Rhodes retains his belt, the SmackDown belt, as he defeated Drew McIntyre. And I'm not going to say convincingly, but he did enough to get the win. And congratulations to Jade Cargill, right? And listen, what she did to Tiffany Stratton on Saturday night's main event, she looked like Brock Lesnar and John Cena in the pay-per-view before. I forget the name of the pay-per-view, but when Brock Lesnar fought John Cena, that's what it looked like. Jade was on a mission. She kept her foot on the gas. She really punished Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany didn't have no answers for her. And when Jade hit her with Jaded, there was no need to even think about a come up or somebody getting up from that. It was a victory that Jade Cargill deserved. She got to celebrate it with her family. They was there in attendance. They got to watch their mom, their wife, their sister, their cousin become world heavy women's champion. So congratulations to Jade. I'm really excited of how they're going to do this going forward. I think they're going to put her in a couple of matches with she's going to fight the Nia Jax. She's going to fight the Candice LeRae. Tiffany Stratton probably get a match soon, even though they're trying to say that Tiffany was hurt. If she wasn't hurt or not, the way that Jade Cargill put that work in yesterday, it is what I expected to see for a very long time. Sometimes when you come in and you're trying to please people, you don't get the accolades because you feel like you hold yourself back. But I don't think Jade held anything back, which is why she became the women's champion yesterday. So congratulations to her. Now going into tomorrow's Raw, we're gonna see CM Punk is gonna be there. We know that the Judgment Day men, which is JD McDonough and Finn Balor, they get a tag team rematch they get a rematch for their belt against AJ and Ray Phoenix. We also going to see Raquel and Roxanne. They get a title shot at Charlotte and Miss Bliss. So there's a lot of action going on tomorrow on Raw. We will be here tomorrow, or we will be here tonight to update you guys on that, uh, on the results of that, and go and recap it as we normally do on the Monday nights. Um, yeah, we get to Friday. Friday, we just waiting to see what happens Friday with Jade as world champion, and we're gonna hear Drew, probably hear Drew crying or whatever. I'm also anxious to see how Jade took this loss. He was very upset losing the Punk, and we gotta wait and see what's gonna happen with the Vision now that the belt has been established and CM Punk won his match. Well, how is the Vision going to take this? How they going to view it? How they going to attack him? It's everything that we're going to wait to see as far as uh, tomorrow on Raw. Like I said, Raw will be on its regular time on its regular station, but we will be here tomorrow to talk about that. Uh, uh, we'll talk about Monday Night Football as the Cowboys are hosting the Cardinals. We will have that conversation. We'll go over some NBA scores as well. Um, it's just crazy. But now I'm gonna go back to the John Morant situation where he got suspended. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe, I'm a little older and I'm used to seeing people uh committed committed to the team, whether they winning, losing, or whatever the case may be, right? But for you to be in a close game and you want to be pegged the star of the team and you to disengage with the team as they drawing up a play to try to gain a victory is something that it's not unheard of. I've seen Scottie Pippen do it in a playoff game against the Knicks. I've seen it done before. I just never seen it done this early in a season, right? Now you missed a lot of last season. John Morant missed a lot of games last season, and for you to come back with this attitude, I mean, this is a new coach. You didn't even have this coach last year, y'all. Well, not y'all. The team fired their coach before before the season ended, as well as Denver. But at the same time, you can't say you're tired of this coach. You just got this coach maybe what was it, April, and now you start the season in November, well, October, but it's not even the first. This is only the second week of the season fully, and now you're sitting there talking about ask the coach. You disgruntled with the coach. You don't want to. I don't know if it's I know a lot of people going to say it's the young guy and they do what they want to do and all of this other stuff. But where is the pride in being a team leader? You want everybody to follow you. I don't, he's the guy that, he wants the notoriety. John Morant is a high flyer. He gets it done when he can. But now you are a leader of men. So you have to be careful because you can lose everything at one time. It's already, your situation before is keeping you away from the NBA limelight, right? Because we know that the NBA want to have people, notarized, right? You got Anthony Edwards, you got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. John Morant was one of those guys that was being like a face of the league. But now when you keep doing this, I'm just talking strictly about what you've done on the court. I'm not speaking about what happened outside of the court, right? I'm speaking about what happened on the court. when you decided that your team ain't worth it. Your team, you ain't rocking with the team or whatever the case may be. You just left them, and now you got other people answering the cuz answering the call as far as why you wasn't why you wasn't why you wasn't in the huddle when we drew up the play and so on and so forth, right? Like I said, you may have seen other people do it, but when you are the team, you are the captain. Even Kevin Durant, as much as he don't like to be considered a team leader, he's gonna be in the he's gonna sit in this he's gonna sit with the team and go through the situation, go through the huddle. Even if he don't like to play, he'll figure it out later on. But you being in your mid-20s or whatever, people gonna say it's the young cockiness, the young attitude, things of that nature. You can't just leave your team out like that and then expect somebody to make you team captain. Things of that nature, because nobody's going to expect you to lead, because if that's how you lead, and by separating yourself from your team when they needed you the most, how you going to be a leader? So I think he still has time to get himself together. He still has the time to decide if he wants to be the team leader or not. He's a phenomenal basketball player. It's just now you got to understand, and you like one of the main guys. You got Jaren Jackson Jr. You just got rid of Desmond Bain last year. You got rid of Dylan Brooks a couple years before that, even though nobody considered him to be a team leader. But now they giving you they putting the ball in your court, literally, as far as being team leader, captain, so on and so forth. Right? You got the extension that then you didn't get the extension that you wanted because you had a situation going on. Yet at the same time, you want to be held as leader. You want to be held as the guy that's doing the things that they need to do. But you can't show yourself like this and be mad. There's a reason why no matter what LeBron James does, he's always a team guy, right? Who else? Jalen Brunson, even Anthony Edwards to an extent, right? He's new to his team. He got Cat up out of this because they started to build around Anthony Edwards, and he's doing everything he can not to show them that they made the wrong decision. So, Ja Morant, if this is where you want to be, if you want to stay in Memphis, you got to show that, got to give them reasons to keep you. And this was not a good example of showing them why they can keep you. Now, like I said, you put the ball in the basket, you get your 20, 25 points a game. But now you got to figure out how to keep the team around you to respect you. And if they see you doing that and you ain't trying to be a part of the team, they're gonna step off. They're not gonna look at you as that team leader. They might not even regard you as a leader, period, and that could be detrimental to the team. So you got to figure out if these are the people that you want around you. You got to show them some love and respect. And even if you say it wasn't towards the team, the players, you left the players hanging. So you got to be careful on what you do and how you do it when it comes to that type of situation. So, I just wanted to have that conversation or have that editorial of how I view that situation with Ja Morant. It's still, like I said, he still got time, but he's gonna have to figure it out soon because there's gonna be some things that's gonna happen later on that's not gonna help him. But with that being said, I appreciate everybody coming through. I appreciate everybody watching. The scores and stats and things like that were brought to you. Well, the show was sponsored by the 9%, where a better you is a better us. And with that, like I said, with that being said, I'll be back in 23 hours to talk about the final game of the week. Oh, also, the picks of the week, it looks like it's going to be tied. Mr. 33 and Coach D has 5 losses. And they did pick the same team tomorrow, so there will be a tie again in the picks of the week. We will show that tomorrow anyway to give you the final record of the week, as far as who what the record is. Is it going to be 9-5 or 8-6? But we find that out tomorrow. But with that being said, from the Channel 9 studio, this is Mr. 33 signing off. See y'all in 23 hours.